don't ever gravitate to, is what made him the perfect coach at Notre Dame. Won a national championship there, had a magnificent career prior to that time at North Carolina State, at Arkansas, and were it not for a coaching change at South Carolina, a lot of this might never have happened. He may elaborate when he comes up here. I'll say this, I have never been more proud to say that I worked alongside one of the all-time greats in coaching. And I did not only for a year at CBS, but also we called a couple of NFL games together that particular year. As he will tell you, it went to about 1/2 of its heat. The great Lou Holtz, ladies and gentlemen. Lou.
Thank you. I get nervous when people stand up when I'm introduced. I think they're getting up to leave. But I want to tell you, Tim, I appreciate that beautiful introduction. That's the type I can listen to all day. Just like you, I thought I was going to have to. I think I was pouring on the consideration. But working with Jim, he's a true professional, true family man, got great character and integrity. I'm delighted to be here in Shreveport, and I want you to understand this. This is not a paid speech. I'm here because of the friendship I have with Mike McCarthy, with other people. I'm also here because of the strong belief I have in our college bowl system. Now, I coached at the University of Arkansas. My daughter was a sophomore. Her boyfriend was a senior. He graduated from Arkansas in chemical engineering, got to work at Arclight Gas here in Shreveport. They wanted to get married. I said, you got to finish your college degree. She graduated from seminary. They've been married 30-some years. Now they have a daughter like 22 years of age. And it's just a great time. And I'm sorry I could not be here yesterday. When my wife was taking me to the hospital on Tuesday night, I sort of felt like I was going to die, and I was afraid I wouldn't. And I said to my wife, honey, if I die, I want you to bury me in Chicago. She said, why is that? And I said, because I want to vote after I'm dead. Fortunately, I've recovered well enough, and I'm really appreciate you people postponing it for one day for allowing me to be here. And I certainly want to tell you how much I appreciate my wife, and particularly in the last 7 days I've been sick. My wife's been outstanding, and she's a cancer survivor. And I'm going to pause there and say to every one of you, if you want some great advice, listen to your spouse. There's nobody knows you any better, loves you any more, wants to see you succeed any more, be any more honest with you. My wife's only somebody I love dearly. She's my best friend. Last year, we celebrated our 50th wedding anniversary. I got to the golf course. I said to the guy, I'm 50 years with my best friend. He said, your wife's not your best friend, your dog is. I said, you're wrong, my wife is. He said, you're wrong. He said, try this. Lock your dog and your wife in the trunk of the car, come back in 2 hours and see which one's happy to see you. But I've really been blessed. My wife left me a note not long ago. Said, Lou, I can't please everybody in the world, so I'm going to stop trying. I'm going to focus on pleasing one person a day. And today's not your day, and tomorrow doesn't look real promising either. You know, just remember how lucky we are to have the spouses that we do. I don't think we appreciate them enough. And I want to tell you, the people in Shreveport, what a great impact you have on people's lives. I have taken teams, I think, 24, 25 different bowls. And every time, it's a wonderful experience for the players, their coaches. And I want to see a playoff eventually, but never at the expense of bowls. What I'd like to see them do is finish all bowl games January 1st and then take the top 4 team after January 1. But above all, keep every bowl, and particularly bowls like the Independence Bowl. My son, who's now the head coach in South Florida, when he's in East Carolina. Don't tell him, but what a great experience when he took East Carolina to a bowl game and beat Boise State. And I almost came here. I was at the University of Minnesota. We had a deal. And if Minnesota accepted a bowl bid, and Notre Dame called me, I would be free to go. When I went there, they lost 17 straight games. The average score they lost by was 47-13. Harvey McKay talked me into going there. He said, "This is a great opportunity." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Nebraska only beat us by 10 last year." Well, that impressed me. I didn't know Harvey meant 10 touchdowns. Nebraska beat me to 13. So my second year, we're down in Iowa, and we get the offer to come to the Independence Bowl. I was so excited, I said to the athletic director, "You know, if we do so, the Notre Dame clause kicks in." He said, "I think it's important for our program." So we accepted bowl bid. The following week, I flew down to Shreveport. We picked out, I think it was the airport high school or Aldalena, that we're going to practice at, the hotel, saw the stadium, had the press conference. I flew back to Minnesota, and that same night, Notre Dame called me and asked me to be the head football coach at Notre Dame. I went to the athletic director at Minnesota, and I said, "I'm going to be the head coach at Notre Dame. But I will coach this bowl game if you want me. It's going to be your choice. My heart's going to be at Notre Dame. That's where I'm going to be next year. But if you want me to coach this bowl game, I'll give you my undivided attention." He said, "We're going to hire your assistant coach. That'll be fine." That's why I did not come and coach, because it was Minnesota's decision. But it was a wonderful bowl. The Minnesota players have talked to me to this day about the marvelous experience they had when they came down here. You know, I think we are so fortunate. College football is such a great sport. This country is great, but sometimes I worry about the greatness of it. What makes college football great is the competitiveness of it. There is nothing about race or religion or color or anything else. It's all about productivity. It's all about caring about other people. It's all about making sacrifice instead of getting your own welfare for the personal welfare of the football team. These are the great things about college athletics. I was blessed to be a college football coach in so many different ways. When I look at so many different things that happen, the most important thing I always felt, whether I'm doing TV or whether I'm doing coaching, is about the attitude you have. People say, "You have fun doing ESPN." Not necessarily. I might have a headache. I'm up in Bristol, Connecticut, which is 15 minutes from Hartford by telephone. I'm up there with a guy by the name of Mark May. Now let me tell you, Mark May is a wonderful guy. Good family man, smart, works at it, true professional. We have no teleprompter. We have no script. We have no rehearsal. But we have a difference of opinion. He was a coach. I was a player. He made suggestions. I made decisions. He signed a paycheck on the back. I signed it on the front. You know, there's just a different attitude that you have when you approach that way. Now, I'm with my wife a couple of months ago. We're at a red light in Orlando, and the guy has a bumper sticker. I called Mark May on my cell phone right away, and I said, "Mark, this guy has a bumper sticker in front of me that reminds me exactly of you. He must have met you when he made it." Mark said, "What it said?" I said, "Mark, it said, 'Jesus loves you. Everybody else thinks you're an asshole.'" The other side of the bumper sticker said, "Honk if you love Jesus, stick where you're driving, you'll meet him." But the point I made, have fun with what you're doing. That's the only thing I ever done. When I was coaching, every day I walked out of the football field, first thing I said, "Boy, what a great day to work. I am so happy to be here," and I meant it sincerely. Because if you're happy selling, if you're happy coaching, whatever you're happy doing, people want to be a part of it. It's like Tom Sawyer. And so I'm going to have fun with whatever I do. Doesn't mean I don't do dumb things. I do them all the time. I was on TV one time, called the University of Auburn. The next week I had to get on the ball and I said, "Hey folks, I made a mistake. I called the University of Auburn. I now understand, so many of you written me, that it's Auburn University. I will not make that mistake again, so please don't write me anymore. I'm a quick learner." I then turned to Reese Davis. I said, "I had no idea that many people from Auburn could write." But I think it's important to have fun with what you do, because I think attitude is everything. It doesn't mean we aren't going to have difficulties. Doesn't mean we aren't going to have problems. You know, let me tell you, every story I tell you is absolutely true. Let me tell you what happened my first year at the University of South Carolina. I'm with Tim Brando. We're up here in Nashville doing the Tennessee Titan and Baltimore Raven game. As he said, it went to a third of the city. And South Carolina was trying to get me to take the job, and I was concerned because of my wife's health, etc. But I finally took it. My first year, the following things happened. My wife had her second major cancer surgery. Now, I'm happy to report she's doing reasonably well now. I don't even pray for her anymore. I pray to her. She's a saint. My son Skip went into a coma the week we played Georgia. My mother died the Friday before we played Florida. I was on a school airplane for 3 days recruiting. We landed at Lady Island Airport, and the pilot said, "Coach, will you visit Darnell, Washington? We're going to fly 11 miles to Hilton, and to get gas, we'll come back and get you." During that 11-mile flight, the school plane crashed. One pilot was killed instantly, the other seriously injured, who later died. We lost every football game we played that year. We went 0-11. And I had a kicker that said, "I can't kick when you're watching." I explained I was going to be at the game. That was part of the contract. Now, we're 0-11 that year, but records can be deceiving, ladies and gentlemen. We really weren't as good as our record would lead us to believe. You talk about everybody bitching and moaning, complaining he's too old, the game passed him by, you can't win in South Carolina. I'm in an airport after that first year, the guy come up and said, "Anybody tell you look like Lou Holtz?" I said, "It happens all the time." He said, "Really makes you mad, doesn't it?" So on the bottom, you got two choices. You stay down, you pick yourself up. That's the only two choices you have. Yet 12 months later, South Carolina had the second greatest turnaround in the history of NCAA football. We went from the longest losing streak to finish 17th in the country. Beat Ohio State on January 1. Following year, we beat Ohio State again on January 1, finished 11th in the country. The point I make is this, ladies and gentlemen. You succeed when no one believes in you. You have no chance to succeed if you don't believe in yourself. That's all the attitude you have to have. You know, you have to understand a little bit about me. I went to high school basically to eat my lunch. I was in the lower half of my high school class. If it was not for people like me, there could have been no upper half of the class. People said, "Well, you've written 3 New York Times best-selling books." That is true. You look at the other guy in this world who's written more books than he has read. So I say that to you because I'm just a simple individual. There's nothing very special about me. But I think the attitude we have is critical. And I tried to change the attitude of players. I changed their productivity. We had a quarterback when I went to Notre Dame, a guy by the name of Steve Berline. Played 17 years in the NFL. Owned all the passing records at Notre Dame. Was a 3-year starter. And I walked in, I sat down the first week I'm there, and then talked to Steve Berline. Now this is how he relayed the conversation. I said, "Steve, you're a 3-year starter, you own all the passing records, that's wonderful. I like a running quarterback, you're not very fast, but that doesn't bother me." He interrupted me and he said, "How slow do you think I am, Coach?" I said, "Steve, if you got a race with a pregnant mother, the best you'd finish would be 3rd. And I said, "That isn't what bothers me. What bothers me, you threw 17 interceptions as a junior." I said, "Steve, I make this promise to you, son. Your senior year, you will not throw 7 interceptions." He got all excited. I said, "That's great, Coach." He said, "The way you run the routes or read the routes or run the routes or read the coverages?" I said, "No. When you get to 6, you ain't playing anymore." Amazing how his attitude changed. What's your attitude when people say negative things? You know, I'm at the University of Notre Dame. We're going to go play Florida in the Sugar Bowl, right down in the Superdome. I met the parents of the young man that runs the Superdome, and congratulations on the tremendous turnaround. But we're going to go there and play Florida. Coached by Steve Spurrier. Great coach, great person. They're number 3 in the country. we're an underdog because we'd had some injuries at the end of the year, but I felt when the game, nobody